guys, Beast, back with some more beastly content. Today is going to be the Fabled Matsume build. So, first things first, we're using the S870 Sandstorm. And the reason why we're using this is because as soon as you draw it, it activates Fortress Fire. Or Fortress Warfare. Which we're using the Fortress Warfare buff to boost our damage to the Fabled Matsume. That way it's actually like a decent damage. We do have it at 5 stars. Once you get like one golden weapon to 5-star, you can pretty much have any weapon you want 5-star, and if you've already crafted it for the season, you can actually have like 3 or 4 different builds of 5-star weapons and 6-star status armors. Like once you get one gold status armor, you can transfer it to other status armors. Pretty cool here. But we're using the Fortress Warfare mod, I think it is. It's not Cowboy, it's Fortress Warfare. It's the one we have 4 out of 5. I think it's like it extends the duration of Fortress Warfare by 5 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. So up to 25 seconds extension of Fortress Warfare every time you kill an enemy with this weapon when Fortress Warfare is active, which we get Fortress Warfare just for drawing our shoddy. So we're actually using a blue blast helmet, and the reason why we're using this is because heavy damage plus 20%. Now, this can make clearing the bosses really easy if you just do nothing but heavy strikes. You can just sit there and heavy strike them to absolute death thanks to that helmet there. We're then using a 3-set of the Lone Wolf. I've debated on maybe just using a 4-set of Lone Wolf and getting rid of that blue helmet. I don't know, I wanted to test out the heavy damage buff and see how good it was. Well, I have seen some high numbers on the heavy damage, I will tell you that much. So, we're also using those boots I just showed there. They're like the key item for Fortress Warfare. Regardless, that is the build, aside from the mods, which we're going to get on into now, and I'm also going to show you my mimetic specialization, or specializations, we'll see in a second. Fateful Strike for the helmet. For the mask, we are using the Targeted Strike. Violent one, it has a crit boost on it, that's what we want. As you can see here, when hitting marked targets, more crit, guys. When out of combat, gain 1 stack of Safe Haven every 5 seconds. Crit damage plus 9.0. And then melee momentum on the pants, melee damage plus 20% after a melee kill, recover 30% of max stamina with a melee damage boost on there, as well as crit boost damage on there. Pretty good. This one's melee amplifier, just melee damage plus 20. Pretty simple while we're using that one. Kind of want that. Killing enemies within 10 meters grants melee weapon status damage for 20% for 8 seconds. So 10 meters, being that we're killing the enemies with swords, I'm sure we can kill them within 10 meters. So that seems like a pretty good mod to me. So the last thing we actually need to cover into is like the mimetics. Now it's not called specialization. I think it's called, let's see what it's called actually. I don't even remember. Aside from that though, we're going to cover items real quick. So we're using Spring Legs, Utter Delight, the Crumbly Bread for just the overall weapon damage buff, and then a Stardust Energy Drink for the double jump, as well as a Spectral Cloak to actually just speed run to the boss here. Here is our Cradle Overrides, that's what they're called. So Fortress Link is the first one, Fortress Warfare range plus 50. You know that's important. Tough build, defeating a target with a melee restores 10% of lost HP. That's very helpful. It can actually keep your HP full the entire time using this build if you get to high area enemies. So yeah, Ammo Cascade, Deviation Master, while the deviation is present, damage plus something. Tactical Combo, weapon damage plus 25 for 4 seconds after switching weapons or reloading. So that's pretty good. Just for switching weapons or reloading, you're getting that weapon damage plus 25. So all you have to do is switch over to that blue and then back to your sword, and then you want to do a quick strike real quick for like a large amount of crit boost. Also, the higher the durability of the sword is, the more damage you're going to be doing. So once again, this is an end game just for fun build. I'm not really saying that you should go out and try and clear every single pro mode on this with this build. I'm showing you one pro mode that you can absolutely melt with this build, and there's a ton of other things you can do with this build. You can have fun with it. You can go try and clear pro modes of different things. I was trying to do the Secret Servitor with this earlier, and it just turns out it's really hard to hit a flying enemy with a sword, so I don't recommend trying to clear the Secret Servitor on pro mode or anything like that. Black Sector might be a little more doable on a team, but honestly I feel like you're just going to be dragging your team down, and you don't really want to be trying to do a melee build against the Black Sector. But for things like Silo 08 or Silo Psy, I'm sure this would melt the fridge. I should test it against that. I did try it against the Claw Machine, and while I did get close, the whole red light green light mechanic just was not very fun for this build because it kept freezing my build, and this build kind of requires you to have a lot going on, from switching from a shotgun to a sword constantly, to getting your quick strike off, and all sorts of things like that. It's just pretty intense. And I love it. It's really a lot of fun to go through and just clear through. And I could have cleared through the enemies on pro mode on here. I just wanted to get to the boss real quickly to show you how big of a melt this was about to be, guys. So here we go, the messenger. This is a pro mode boss, guys, and we're about to take it down with a sword. What do you think of that? So, as you can see here, switch to that gun, switch back to the sword, boom, every single hit's hitting for about 12 to 13k just instantly. After we killed one enemy, we've seen a total of 14k at the highest. All those are quick attacks, none of those are the heavy attacks. I have seen some higher heavy attack numbers. As you can see there, 21k was the highest number I've seen so far on the boss getting hit. Absolutely melting the HP bar there, guys. Boom, 28k hit in a single. This is where that heavy hit's going on. This is why I like using that blue helmet. Do you see how much damage we got there on the heavy hit? That is really nice for doing boss melts. Just spamming the heavy button on bosses and absolutely melting their health bar with this build is absolutely insane. Unfortunately, most of the game, it's not, and like Tree Ant, for instance. I tried Tree Ant. Pro mode didn't happen. Hard mode, it seemed like it was possible. If you attack Tree Ant on his tail with this build, and you kill other enemies to get like the perks you need and stuff, and you're doing all the perk stuff, and you're getting everything just right with this build, because there's also a learning curve to this build. You gotta learn how to use this build before you can get the good damage. As you can see, there we go. And those heavy hits, every single hit, 25k, just absolutely melting this boss here. We're probably at about 25k DPS on this build. I have seen 56k on a crit though, on this, and that's the other thing. This build was built really high into crit because this weapon just gains a lot of crit for being a high durability, which is another reason why I don't recommend trying to take it through pro and clear through the whole silo and attack the enemies, is because when you lose durability on this weapon, you lose damage, and it just keeps going down and keeps going down, and it's ridiculous. But as you can see there, more heavy hits of 20k, 20k, 17k, 17k. Every once in a while it's 3k, it's because we've lost a bunch of the damage boosting perks. We should have went out and like tried to kill enemies, and that's what I did here. I should have really just kept trying to wheel at the boss there, and I could have taken it down without having to use an adrenaline shot. But as you can see here, we were trying to kill the dogs, and also because of one of the cradle overrides, if we do a backstab or like an execute or anything like that, we're going to get a 30% additional damage buff. So that's why I was trying to get the damage buff with those enemies there. I was trying to get an execute, or an execute, because I can't do a backstab there, but I was trying to get an execute for the 30% damage extra buff there, because that was going to make this number go up even crazy higher, probably more like 40k per hit. But I am not done playing with this build. I'm sure there will be more videos in the future, but I do believe this is about the end of the video. You can go ahead and try this build out yourself, and yeah, but I am going to go ahead and get out of here. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and keep it beast mode.